Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So in my last video, tons of you asked me to do a comparison between GPT-5 Pro and the newly released Claude 4.5. Well, you asked for it, so here we are. We're going to put both of these models through some real-world tests today. Before we dive in, if you haven't subscribed yet, now's a great time to do that. I'm constantly testing out the latest AI tools and bringing you these comparisons. Also, I'd love to hear from you. What kind of content do you want to see next? Drop your suggestions in the comments below. All right, let's get into it. So, Anthropic just dropped their latest model, Claude 4.5, on September 29th. This is their most powerful model to date. When you look at the benchmarks, particularly the SWE benchmark, it's actually scoring higher than all their previous models, including Opus, and it's even outperforming GPT-5 and Gemini 2.5 Pro. Pretty impressive stuff. Now, I'm really excited to see what happens when Gemini 3 releases. Then we can do a three-way comparison between Claude, GPT, and Gemini. And hey, if you want me to throw DeepSeek into the mix too, let me know in the comments. Looking at the benchmarks, you can see the improvements from the previous model. Some of you might be thinking it's not a massive leap, maybe only around 5% improvement. But here's the thing. What we're seeing is actually part of what's called the S-curve in technology adoption. Progress starts slow, then accelerates rapidly in the middle phase, and eventually plateaus as the technology matures. This is especially relevant right now because major AI labs like OpenAI, Google, and Anthropic are hitting what insiders are calling an AI plateau. Recent models like GPT-5 and Orion are showing smaller incremental improvements despite massive computational investments. I mean, OpenAI's training runs reportedly cost hundreds of millions of dollars, but the improvements haven't been enough to justify those enormous costs.
One eternity later.
Anyway, let's move on to the actual comparison. For GPT-5 Pro, I'm accessing it through u.com. As you can see on screen, I've got the GPT-5 Pro model selected. A lot of you mentioned in the last video to make sure I'm using the Pro version, so here it is. For Claude 4.5, we're using their official website since they're offering limited free access to this model right now. We're going to start with some basic questions, move on to harder math problems, and then test out some coding challenges. Let's jump right in. Test 1. Basic math problem. Here's our first question. There were some people on a train. 19 people get off at the first stop. 17 people get on the train, and now there are 63 people on the train. How many people were on the train to begin with? This should be pretty straightforward for these models. Let's see how they approach it. Okay, Claude is incredibly fast. It's giving me the answer of 65. Now let's check GPT-5. I'm pasting in the same question, and we're waiting for the response. And GPT-5 also says 65. The correct answer is indeed 65 people, so both models get 1 point each. Good start. Test 2. Complex math problem. All right, let's give them something harder. Here's the next question. I won't read the whole thing out loud because it's pretty lengthy and I don't want to bore you, but I'm zooming in so you can read it if you want to pause the video. I'm sending this to both models now. Claude has finished, and it's saying the answer is option D. 1 and 2 only are correct. Let's see what GPT says. GPT is giving me option B, so one of these models got it wrong. And the correct answer is option D. 1 and 2 only. Claude wins this round. That's another point for Claude. Test 3. Here's our next question. Feel free to pause if you want to read through it. Sending it to both models now. Claude is saying option B, which is -3. Let's check GPT's response. GPT also says option B. Both models are correct, so they each get another point. Test 4. Advanced mathematics. Let's throw a really tough math problem at them. The question is, let a and b be positive integers such that a b plus 1 divides a squared b plus b squared. Show that a squared plus b squared divided by a b plus 1 is the square of an integer. Sending this to both models. Claude has provided its answer. Now checking GPT's response. And both models handled this correctly. They each get 1 more point. Test 5. Now let's move into the coding section. I'm giving them a prompt to create a fully functional snake game with specific requirements. HTML5, vanilla JavaScript, and a bunch of other features I've listed here. Sending this to both models. Claude has finished its code. Let's test it out. Okay, the design is interesting. It has this paper texture aesthetic. We've got a score system, high score tracking, and buttons for start, pause, and restart. Let me play this for a moment. The first thing I'm noticing is the sound effects. They're really satisfying, especially that clicky sound when the snake eats the food. The start game button has a nice sound effect too. The visuals are pretty clean. Let me know in the comments what you think of the design. Now let's check GPT-5. I've pasted the code and... okay, there's definitely something wrong here. The code has some bugs and it's not running properly. I'd have to go back and ask it to fix the issues. So for this first coding challenge, GPT failed while Claude worked perfectly. Another point for Claude. Test 6. Next coding prompt, build a complete Flappy Bird game with HTML5 and JavaScript with a list of requirements. Again, pause the video if you want to read the full prompt. Sending this to both models. Both are done. Let's run GPT's code first. It's a full-width window game with a score system. Looks pretty basic to me. The animation is smooth and you can hear the sound effects. They're not bad, actually giving me those fast-paced game vibes. Now let's check Claude's version. Right away, the sound effects and background music stand out. They're really well done, very cozy and pleasant to listen to. It's not harsh or ear-piercing at all. Let me stop talking for a second so you can just hear the audio. In terms of visuals, it's also full width. The animation is smooth. Look at the bottom design with the land and grass on top, and those clouds. It's really nicely done. Personally, I'm giving this point to Claude for both visuals and sound. It just did a better job overall. Test 7. Here's the next coding challenge. Create an interactive 3D solar system simulation using 3.js with all these requirements listed. Let's look at GPT's code first. It's looking decent. Let me explore this more closely. Wait, what's that? Is that a rocket or something? Maybe it's a bug. Anyway, let's check Earth. It's not coded very accurately. It looks like it's just the shape, but the actual visual details and textures are missing. GPT did give us a lot of controls though. We can adjust time scale, pause and play, control the orbit scale, toggle labels, and adjust rendering quality. So there are tons of controls, but some work and some don't. Now let's check Claude's code. This is much better than GPT's for sure. It's more colorful. Let's look at Earth. It's blue, which is great. Mars and the other planets are in their representative colors too. We've got useful controls like hiding orbits, hiding labels, focusing on the sun or Earth, and a reset button. For me, I think Claude deserves the point here once again. Another one for Claude. Conclusion. So, for this video, Claude 4.5 is the clear winner. Let me know in the comments if you want to see more comparisons with different models or different types of prompts. Thanks so much for watching. Keep shining, and I'll see you in the next one.